All right, today's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. And it's 7:20. I got here about 7. Kevin's been here working on it for about an hour before I got here. We're working on this 66
BSA Spitfire / Thunderbird mixture. In fact,
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt.
Right?
Thunderbolt.
Okay.
Oh God, yeah, don't make another mistake. Yeah. Thunderbolt. The front wheel is from 68. Someone at some point decided they wanted to turn this into a Thunderbolt. The bottom end and frame are clearly Spitfire. But as one of the folks pointed out on one of the videos you posted, the head here is actually from a Thunderbolt. The Spitfires are splayed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my error, and it's always nice to learn new things. So you've got a Thunderbolt head.
Barrel.
Excuse me.
And a Spitfire head?
As far as I know, I don't know. It's hard to tell anymore. But the bottom end where the number is definitely a Spitfire.
Okay.
And the frame is definitely a Spitfire based on those numbers.
We're not sure what the singles...
Well, that's what this person was saying, is that the Spitfire, they were splayed more this way, whereas the Thunderbolt was straight
Single.
out. So so this is a Thunderbolt here. So
Nice
it's
new premium.
It's quite a mixture, and then someone's pulled and just put speedometer here. They took the tachometer out, so...
All right.
It's a nice bike, but it's definitely... my big question is why someone decided to make it a Thunderbolt rather than a Spitfire. I have no idea.
Well, a very small opinion is I love single-carb bikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really do.
And that may have been the reason.
But it's an expensive conversion for just that convenience.
Absolutely.
We don't know why.
Side panels are Thunderbolt. The tank, I think, it's...
Okay.
I don't know. It's what somebody chose to do. But again, as you well know, working on these vintage bikes, it's kind of interesting to see the bitses that come into play, and just why? Yeah. Who knows why?
And how far back it goes. BSA, B-I-T-S-A, a BSA bike, bits of this, bits of that. I don't know that they may have been putting things together. No, 66 was still early, so there wasn't a supply line problem. No. Okay, so we don't know why.
Yeah.
But anyway, it'll be a nice bike when we get finished.
Absolutely.
We just finished, Kevin just finished rebuilding this front wheel, new bearings, new brakes, the whole 9 yards. We just put it on the bike, and we're going to adjust this double leading shoe linkage. I call it double leading, and other people call it twin leading. But anyway, this is the best. This is the second best brake system that Triumph and BSA ever made. The one that I think is slightly better is one where the cable comes down into this arm, and then the inner cable comes over to this arm, which eliminates the need to balance this linkage. So what we're going to do now is balance this linkage, and I'm going to try to do it on camera so you can see what we do. Okay, and here we go. Okay, I'm going to balance out the brake linkage here. Kevin's going to hold this camera up about this angle. And it's really simple, but it's very important. All right, I'll let you hold this and I'll get down in there. I mean, literally all we have to do is make sure that both brake shoes are activating fully when they're activated. Okay, like right now and right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hold this one up. I'm going to take this bungee up here, run it down under here, and put it on this little bitty stumpy bolt right there. Okay, now that'll hold this all the way up in the full engaged. You'll pull this all the way back to full engaged. And I can actually, if I have this, do that. Okay? And now all you have to do is adjust this. I'm going to show you. Let's see what it is now. It's really close, probably within a gazillionth of an inch of being perfect. So, can you see through that?
Yep. Yeah, you can see just the fact it almost looks perfect.
That ain't bad.
No, I'd say one more twist out and we're good. Twist in, ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just let's try that. Look at that. Okay, let's pin it. And that's all there is to it. You just lock it fully engaged, set the distance, and then lock this down to hold it. It's not going anywhere.
Nope.
And you've got a good brake right now. It's draining. Draining.
Too good brake.
Yeah, you have a brake that's fully operational. Both. There you go. All right, let's cotter key this, and we're done.
Okay.
Very good. That was fun. It's a good brake. All right, so we've got the brake adjusted, the cable installed, and give her a spin. Good.
Yep.
And by the time you take it around the block a few times and settle it in, there's a brand new brakes, so they need to settle in. We'll tell the client that. And so far so good. All right, so it's roughly 8:30. I got here at 7. Kevin started earlier than that. The bike is at a point where we're waiting on parts again, clutch cable now. We put the whole front end together. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. We put the wheel on, adjusted the brake, closed up the headlight, confirmed that we have headlight and high beam and engine oil pressure light. Put the new oil pressure sender in down here, and we'll find out if it's working when we fire it up. We just double check the static test. We just double check the static ignition setting on the ignition system. Once you get the clutch cable, you can start dressing it out, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that was the frustration of that one being too long.
Yeah.
We could have done a first start today.
Okay. All right. That feels good. Oh, that is so nice. That's a new throttle cable. Listen to that. That snap. I love good snap. All right. All right, so it's coming together nicely. We're going to call it a day. I'm going to go down to my place and maybe work a little bit on that Norton's starter solenoid to find out why it won't kick in. I'm sure it's something simple. I'm sure it's something stupid. And I will try real hard to find it and figure it out. We're done.